Because it's like I've kept the topic as atomic database and some history of database.
हेलो हेलो हेलो।
Yeah.
हाँ, गुड आफ्टरनून सर। सर वो एक्चुअली ना कुछ पता नहीं, वेब पेज ने कोई डायलॉग्स बनाए थे, मैंने कैशे क्लियर कर दिया,
कोई
फिर
बात नहीं,
चल
कोई
गया।
बात नहीं, वी आर जस्ट, है ना।
सर अभी क्या कर रहे हैं?
हाँ, तो दिस इज द टॉपिक।
यस
ठीक है।
सर, यस सर।
वही सोच रहा था मैं भव्य इज लाइक कई दिनों से बात हो रही थी, आई थॉट लाइक करते हैं, चलो थोड़ा बहुत कुछ, है ना। So this basically this lecture deals with the word is atomic database, and some it's related to some database history, how database were evolved. Okay, what is a database? I mean, is it something natural that is happening with us in our day-to-day lives, and we are just recognizing it, or maybe we have like externalized it, and now we have got certain systems like these database systems. Okay, they were also not there in the previous time. They have like their journey also started at some point of time. But if we see the human evolution, and as humans were growing, they had different civilizations, है ना. So at each point of time they had some families. Okay, so they have a family structure. So family structure is was one thing that was like very it was like, okay, so it is from the ancient times, and it will always be there. Okay, कोई भी family है, person P. Okay, suppose P1. Okay, some relation is there, so this is kind of a family structure maybe. Okay, suppose there is one person. I mean, generally the family have like two people. Okay, and they have their kids. So if this is he's the main person, suppose. Okay, and he has got certain relations. So now this can be seen from other point of from P1's angle also. Okay, P1 is also having some kind of a family. Okay, their husband, wife, and they have their kids. So like that. Okay, so if you want to depict that information, then that will be depicted in the form of a graph. Okay, and then we will see, suppose mother, father. Okay, these are kids, K1, maybe K2. Okay, some kind of structure is there, and this is also coming from the back. They have their, similarly over here also they have that. Okay, so it is coming from their parents. Okay, kids, very, I mean, small kind of a family we are taking, and their parents. Okay, M, father of M. Okay, MF, and similarly F or F, like this. Okay, their parent is also there, and you can extend this graph as per your relations, family relations. Just try to draw this family graph anytime, and this is, I think, the most important graph. Okay, so in day-to-day living, what we are doing, so we are interacting with other people, suppose family members or outside persons. Okay, and what we have got, so we have got like 5 sensors. Okay, what are these? Eye, ear, okay, nose, tongue. What is the next one? Eye, we have ear, nose, tongue. Then what? Skin. Okay. Some kind of data is hitting us at each and every point in time. Okay. As we are living. So we are in this kind of a closed system where we have got 5 sensors and the data is hitting us continuously. So where are we storing that data? Is there, as we are getting the data, so some kind of processing is happening in our brains, and then ultimately it is getting stored somewhere. And it is not only stored, there is a nice retrieval system to it. Okay. So somewhere in our atoms, in our atomic, if we see from the quantum perspective, so somewhere it is going inside, there is a nice processing to it. Okay, and after that processing, it is that quantum energy is getting stored somewhere inside our atoms. Okay, and once, suppose you are, you have seen a tree, and if I ask you like maybe 1 year later, okay, do you remember this tree? And if you are at the same location, so you might remember that tree also. So somewhere that tree is lying there in your atomic database. Okay, somehow inside your atoms there must be some mechanism for it. Okay, so that you recognize also. So the kind of search that we do on Google, so okay, once you put certain thing over there, so it is retrieving from its database, huge database that they have. Okay, and they are updating that regularly also. So the same kind of thing is happening with us. Only thing is our journey is very, very individual. Wherever we go, whatever we listen, whatever we see, all that kind of a database, that information is going inside, and it is not like directly going inside. There is kind of a processing to that based upon the nature of our brains. Okay, whatever brains we have, so that information is going inside, and there is a nice retrieval system. So what, maybe many years later, if you see that tree again, you may recognize or you may not, and maybe the tree state has changed. But generally what I've seen is, if you have seen some person, and if your memory is photographic, okay, if you have seen, and if that person is coming again, that you most of the time recognize that person. Okay, sometimes it happens that, okay, I've seen this person but the name is not coming. So as kind of a search is happening at a very fast rate, but you're not able to get the name of it. Okay, name of the person. Okay, our name is missing somehow. I recognize this person but the name is not coming. Okay, so what is happening inside? Somehow it is getting stored inside our atoms. There must be some process going on. Okay, so that is what we do in meditative sciences also. As the clearing comes, okay, as the clearing happens, so our inner atomic space gets more clear. Okay, so if we see from the atoms perspective, so atom, if you see that there is a nucleus also, say positive here, and these are neutral. Okay, inside the atoms you see and then you're seeing some electron clouds are there. Okay, इसमें फिर आपका probability of finding the electron in that cloud. Okay, I will discuss this thing in some other lecture. And for now, there is a kind of a space around that nucleus where there is a high probability of finding that electron. Okay, so generally you know that okay, nucleus has two positive charge, so it has a negative charge also. Electrons are rotating. Okay, but there is a kind of a space. This is given by Schrodinger, and there are nice diagrams to it. People have discovered this. People have like seen this thing in labs under observation. So these are called orbital clouds. So under that, there is a nice probability of finding the electrons at different places. So when some information is, I mean, you're getting that information from outside, so it must be somehow somewhere getting stored over here, कुछ इस तरीके से. Okay, something of that sort. इस तरीके से हो रही है. Okay, and it forms a kind of a stack structure. फिर इसके बाद ये हो गई इस तरीके से. Okay, like layers are there, layers of information. So एक तो ये, this is electrons. Okay, electrons है, and these are, ये तो nucleus है. We'll deal with the concept of orbital cloud in a separate thing. Okay, so then you will understand it more. So whatever information, so I've seen some research study, they are saying that the amount of information that you can get in is in order of petabytes. Okay, terabytes and petabytes is quite large. Okay, so that kind of storage capacity you have, everybody have. Okay, so all these people, they have like but I would still say we have petabytes. Okay, we have, let me put a star, petabytes. Storage, we the person. Okay, so this is as per current research, but what I would say is, okay, this can change also. So when you go into the internal sciences, okay, when you are working continuously, so your mind becomes very sharp, and as you are getting clearing from inside, so all these information, many of the information that you have gathered over the time, that is why I regularly say that do not engage in such kind of habits. Okay, be natural. Just being natural also, you're getting that much amount of data because your eyes are open in whole day, so you're getting that data, and that data is also getting stored. So that generally many people say that once you are woke up in the morning and you see the green trees, so green trees are getting inside. Okay, so that information is continuously getting inside. In the night time, you are like not seeing anything, so eyes are working, like ears are working. Okay, and all that information is getting somehow stored. So if that information is very natural, then you will have natural benefits. So in the meantime, in between, there is a kind of a processing also, and that is where everything lies. Okay, so that processing, in between processing, that what our brain does, what kind of brain it is, so based upon that, that kind of information is happening. For example, suppose some person is able to see some condition in the life, some situation in the life, and he is like making it out, okay, this is like that. Okay, so that kind of thing is happening inside, it is getting stored. So and another person standing over here just beside you, and he's also looking at the same situation, but he's like, okay, this is a nice situation and this might work like that. So he's getting the another information, though the condition, though the event that is happening is the same for both the persons, but they both are grasping, taking different information out of that, and that information is getting stored inside each of them. So once that event happens again, so there is a nice kind of a retrieval system from inside, and he will see, oh, this might like result into this. Other person is this might like result into this. Okay, so they both are behaving differently many times, and that is what we all are doing at different points of time. Okay, so these are called atomic databases. So one thing I would like to say, because you know Swami Vivekananda. Okay, he was a great saint of India. So Swami Vivekananda had a photographic memory. Okay, so he gave a nice lecture in 1893 in Chicago, and people used to say that he has a photographic memory. What does that mean? People used to say that, I mean, okay, once he sees one book, okay, once he had a glance of the book completely, so he memorizes it. Okay, it was such a sharp memory, and he could retrieve it immediately after that. Just by once by seeing that book, he used to take that inside. Okay. Similarly, there was a computer scientist, American computer scientist. He was a computer scientist, physicist, engineer, polymath. Okay, so he has done many things, and his name was John von Neumann. So he has done some very good work, mathematical analyzer and numerical integrator in computer. He has like made many of them. So he has made that thing. Okay, so it was called MANIAC, MANIAC. Okay, so you can research over him. So he used to memorize the column of the phone book at just a single glance. Okay, so his internal system also was very developed. So at different, these were some of the examples, but at different point of time you will encounter in your life, maybe you also have it. Okay, so once you are going into the internal practices, all this system becomes very much clear, becomes very much sharp. um, and you will see tremendous abilities. Okay, tremendous abilities are hidden inside you. So for example, in Buddha's time also, if we see, okay, Anand was there. Okay, so Anand used to record all his lectures when Buddha was accompanying Anand at each and every site. So he used to, I mean, he used to just listen to it. He used to just see that, and he used to record it. So he was acting like a tape recorder inside. Okay, so all his lectures were there, all his Vani was there stored inside that system. So there was no external system at that time, but the humans were that much advanced, and they were acting like a device. Okay, in different scenarios. So this is such an advanced system, and this atomic database, this is very healthy, and this is the final system. Okay, and this will always be the final system, though we have got many devices in between, many databases in computer science also. Now, I mean, externally also we are having so much data, since so much machines, so much devices, so much external things have come, so much data is also coming. So for that we have developed many of the database systems. Okay, just to have the records. So this was it. So I mean, if we see in the ancient times also, in the Sumerian, there were, I mean, many people have found like that Sumerian tablets are there. They used to keep the medical prescriptions. Okay, people have found that out during excavation and many other things. Archaeologists have found that. Okay, so even if we see from ancient times, so inventories were maintained. Okay, धीरे धीरे initially they were verbal, I mean there was verbal transfer of the information, but later written transformation was also, written mode of uh, getting our information, writing our information, that mode also came later. And then now we have the paper. Okay, now we have the paper. Paper books are there, copies are there. Now we are writing it, and now we take it for granted. But at one point of time when they came, so they used to like have the barks of the trees, and they used to make those pothis, and they used to write. Okay, many of the rishis, they used to write over their shlokas on those pothis. But before that it was verbally. So a nice example is of Anand. Okay, he used to record. I mean, there was internal system was such advanced, and such pure system was there. So we all have such systems, and as we proceed, I mean, we should focus on that. So this is the actually end of it. But if we see, if we discuss about this external databases also, so how it came. Okay, so these inventories were there, and now let us see. So initially what used to happen, I mean, what in India, if you see, what was the, we have got many families. Okay, we have got many households. People were used to do farming main, and then they used to go to the different mandis also. Okay, to sell their crops. So there they used to have some shopkeepers. Okay, So have you seen Bahi Khata? Okay, so shopkeepers, what they used to do, I mean, they have different suppose, you know, different products they used to have inside their shop, and as people are approaching them, they are giving them something, and they are in returning getting the products. So they used to maintain their books, okay, kind of ledger books, called as Bahi Khatas. Okay, this is a Hindi word, but I have written in English. So these are Bahi Khatas. Bahi Khatas were nothing else, they were the small books, okay. In our memory also, I have also seen some of them. So they used to be, I mean, every shopkeeper and all the traders, etc., okay, they used to keep that record. It is basically a record of all the transactions, whatever is happening daily. They used to keep, okay, this was the product I have sell and this was the rate I have given, okay. So by just looking at that book, they used to maintain daily, okay, what are the products that I need to fill in again, okay. So they are getting finished in my shop. So Bahi Khatas were very popular, and at that time in social scenarios also, Bahi Khatas played actually a very important role, and there were different stories around that, but we are not going into them. We are just taking from the uh, point of view of database, okay. So they were also kind of a database, but they were external also. They used to keep them in their lockers, okay, and they used to maintain the records of inventories, of daily inventories. And the person who used to, there was a munim also, okay. Okay, munim was the person who used to maintain this. Okay, so now if we see, हमारा data, it used to be, first it used to be verbally also, okay, that is still there, verbally. Later Pothis came, okay. This is some kind of written form. Written form is there, and paper is there, okay. Bahikata is a kind of a form of a paper, okay, collection of papers. And then we have got computer systems also these days, okay. Computer systems. Yes. So if we see the from the point of view of the computer system, what we see that these Bahi khatas, iska हमने, if we have done automation, okay. इसका अगर मैं, if I do the automation, so what it becomes? It becomes database. Okay. So this is what is happening today. So whole story is about the data. Okay, somewhere we have to keep the data. If there are no external systems, if there are only humans and there is only nature, life is such simply, okay, life is in such a simple form, then also you're getting the data. It is not like that these things have come in between, then only the data is getting generated. It was also generated over there. Okay, so if you go to a jungle, if you go to some outers, okay, so there also the data is happening because you are the sensor and you have got those five senses and the data is directly hitting to them. So based upon your mind, you're getting the data is getting collected inside, and that is where the main story lies. Okay, so different people are reacting to that data in a different form and they're getting stored inside them, and based upon that they're like the whole story is going on. Okay, so these days these Bahi khatas, they have, like, after the automation, they have taken the form of a database. Okay, so if we see the modern computer system, so this started in like early modes of database used to be flat file mode. Okay, ये समझें आप थोड़ा सा, and if you have any doubt तो you can ask also. ठीक है, flat file mode is like, जैसे आप सोच लो ऐसे दे रहा हूँ मैं. Okay, like this. तो यहाँ पे suppose there is some serial number, है ना, or you can say record number also. So it's a simple table. Okay, serial number is 1, suppose, let me write it over, 1 2, like this. Okay, suppose this is our center, meditation, Vipassana meditation center, for example, maybe location. Okay, इस तरह से लोकेशन है ये. यहाँ पे अगर हम देखते हैं तो धम्मसुधा है जैसे. ओके, what is the location? Location is Hastinapur. Okay, similarly we have like Dhammapatana also. Dhammapatana. Okay, and what is the location? Is Kamaspur. Okay, I suppose I write over here Kamaspur. Okay, so these are our centers, and first of all this is serial number. Let me just do this. Serial number. Okay, 1 2. Let's come as proof. Okay, so this is a, first of all, this was prevalent. Okay, this is used to be called as flat file model. Let me write this, flat file model. इस तरीके से था. So इसमें, because at the very start things, I mean, whenever something is something new comes up, so based upon the necessity it comes. Okay, so first of all people make like very simple things, and then they think if there are certain problems faced in that system, then they will gradually improve that. as and when they are living their lives. So they are facing certain problems and they are coming up with the next evolutionary solution. Okay, so signals are coming to them and they see, based upon those problems they come up with a new system. So इस system में क्या एक problem थी शुरू में कि always when used to search in computer systems, it used to start from the very first record. Okay, so now I've shown two records, but you can have three more many centers. Okay, there are many centers in the world. So if you suppose you are having a table of the centers, so and if you want to search any, suppose you want to search Vipassana center at Ontario, Canada, so it will always start from 1 2, it will check, then 3 it will check, and like that. Okay, so the search is always sequential. So when the data is, I mean, when the data is very small, it doesn't matter. Okay, so it doesn't matter because it will take time. Suppose the record that I'm searching, it is at the very last of it, last of the table. So since it is sequentially searching always, so it will check for the first record whether this matches, it will check for the second record whether it matches, it will check for the third record, and so on. It will finally reach to the last one. Okay, wherever it will find, it will say, okay, I found that thing, that record. But you can also imagine, okay, how much time will it take. So if data is large, okay, as we have many systems now, so if the data is large, then how much time, how much more time will it take on each search. Okay, so this was not a very efficient system, but at the very start it was flat fight model itself. Okay, so it used to search sequentially. Sequential search was there. Okay, sequential search होती थी उसमें, है ना, not very efficient. ठीक है, getting it. चलो बाद, चलो ये नहीं लिखता हूँ. So it was sequential search. So now you can make out by yourself कि if there are large volumes and records, so कुछ तो भी और चाहिए. Okay, something new should come. तो इस तरह से लोग इससे कर रहे थे, but as the system grew, because at the very start systems were not that large, start में किया उसे. Okay, and then later when they found out कि भाई it is taking time means exactly it is taking time. Real time systems में अगर आप, if you record the time, then also you will be able to record that time. Okay, for each search. Suppose I am searching for Dhamsuda itself. Okay, so first record is Dhamsuda. Okay, hit is there, so it is found immediately. Okay, the time is very less. Suppose I am searching for the Mapatana. Okay, suppose I am searching from Ontario, whatever the center's name is in Canada. So if I am searching for that, okay, then, and if it is at the very last, suppose it is the last record, so it will take that much amount of time. So this is not that hard to understand. It is plain simple logic. Okay, sequential search was there. So based upon the experiences of this flat fight model, people saw that a new faster databases were needed. Faster databases were needed. Okay. क्या क्या उसमें होना चाहिए था, प्रॉपर्टीज क्या हो सकती हैं, स्केलेबल हो सकते हैं, है ना, स्केलेबल कहो, expandable कहो, so that if huge data is coming, so they should be able to take that. Okay, reliable होने चाहिए, efficient भी होनी चाहिए. Okay, what does efficiency means? Are you getting this point? maybe the search will take less time, है ना, ऐसे समझ सकते हो अभी के लिए, और वही तो मैटर करता है लास्ट में. Okay, should take. Is it the only searching? I mean, इसमें what are the operations in the database? ओके, अब जैसे हमारी ये फ्लैट फाइल मॉडल है, इसमें व्हाट डू यू थिंक कि क्या क्या ऑपरेशंस होंगे डेटाबेस में, क्या होने चाहिए? व्हाट कैन यू थिंक लॉजिकली फ्रॉम अ लेमन्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू? देखो, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू हैव टू क्रिएट समथिंग. इसमें जैसे ये वाला मॉडल है फ्लैट फाइल मॉडल, ओके, व्हाट वुड बी द बेसिक ऑपरेशंस इन दिस? किसी भी डेटाबेस का कोई भी, आई मीन इफ वी आर टेकिंग एनी वर्जन ऑफ इट, व्हाट आर द बेसिक ऑपरेशंस, क्या आपको लगता है? देखो, समहाउ somewhere you need to create this also. ये जो tabular form that you're seeing, suppose you are like I'm sketching this on this whiteboard, okay, तो मुझे कहीं ना कहीं बनानी पड़ रही है, right? I have to create this table first, then after that I have to put the records, okay. So there is one create operation, kind of create operation, okay, where I am creating these tables. Just try to understand, okay, just try to relate in your mind. So somewhere I have to create, okay, here also I have to first create, and after that I have put in the records. So same thing is happening over there also. So you have to, there has to be some create operations, okay, and then there has to be some kind of insert kind of operations where I am writing the data, okay. Maybe it is on a paper, maybe it is on a, inside a system, but there has to be some kind of an insert operation, okay. Then what other operations? When I'm talking about the sequential search I am talking about, so it has to be a read operation should also be there, right? So these are in layman's term we are talking, okay. If you come up with another point, if you have any other point, you please speak up, okay. तो read भी हमें करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि why are we creating this? To just have our, I mean, so that it should be beneficial to us at some point, okay. It will like relieve our burden, okay, it will somehow help us to manage the system better. That is why these things are there, okay. That is why we used to keep the records in Bahikhata also, so that at the day end I could see, okay, if somebody has taken a taken money also from me, so I have to keep a record of it, okay, this person has taken money from me, okay. So all these kind of records, even the inventories for my own things, okay, whatever is there in the shop, suppose it is a grocery shop, okay, suppose different things are, pulses are there, cereals are there, they are getting finished, so they have to somehow update in their Bahi khatas also, okay. Can you relate that? So daily they have to update, okay. So there is some kind of a read operation also. There is some kind, read operation is like when I am reading my Bahi khata, when I am opening it, I have opened it, okay, directly I cannot see, I have to just open it. So first operation is kind of open it, lo, I have got the Bahi, I have just bought it from some shop, Bahi is there, okay. So it is as good as like creating a table. So I have got some table, and now Bahi is there, I am writing it also, but for reading also I have to open it first, and then I will read it, okay. If suppose some data is changing, okay, I have suppose kept like, okay, my like wheat thing is like 10 kg only, and later I came to know, no, it was like I've just like put in the wrong information, and so I wanted to correct it. So you will again go there and you will search that page where I have written, and then you will see the date, okay, today's date. So let me just see it, okay. So it should be the last page itself, वहाँ पे जाके देखा, and then you have corrected that, okay. Maybe you have cut the previous entry and you have put in the next entry. So there is a kind of update operation also. So all these operations you can also think, it is not like that, I mean, after going through certain things, then only you will understand. You are able to understand right now also, okay? You can understand it. So based upon these, so the main thing was searching the information, okay? So since searching was sequential, so it used to take time. So what then they thought, so faster database system were needed, okay? So they have to be scalable, you can say expandable also, okay? Reliable, they should be efficient. So search should take less time and other operations should also be efficient, okay? So in mid 90s, what happened? Now see. In mid 1960s, okay? यहाँ पे हुआ. So IBM ने यूज किया फर्स्ट, है ना? IBM used a hierarchical model. देखना सुनना इसको, है ना? Hierarchical model called what was it called? Information management system. Information management system. IMS for short. Getting it? Okay. So initially what it was a flat file model that we have discussed, और उसमें कुछ कुछ problems थी. So they were also, IBM was also working parallelly, okay, on some of, since the concept has came in, so they were also, and then they came up with a hierarchical model called information management system. So उसमें वो किस तरीके का था, जैसे हमारा कोई भी है उसमें
सर
सेंटर
मुझे
आईडी है
याद आ रहा
उसमें.
वो IBM PC, हाँ सर उन्होंने सबसे पहले लॉन्च करा था.
हाँ, तो उसमें ये डेटाबेस में भी उन्होंने किया था, ओके, बिकॉज डेटाबेस में और दे वर आल्सो वर्किंग, है ना? तो उन्होंने इंफॉर्मेशन मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम दिया था, जो कि एक मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम ही है, ओके? सो हमारा जैसे कि कोई भी है, सेंटर आईडी था, ये सेंटर नेम भी ले सकते हैं उसे, है ना? तो कोई भी हमारा सेंटर आईडी है, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द मे बी विपश्यना सेंटर्स, ओके? सो वी हैव गॉट वन सेंटर, और उस सेंटर में इनसाइड में ओके उसमें क्या क्या चीज़ें हो सकती हैं अंदर, ओके? ऑफिस है उसमें, है उसमें जो भी पीपल वर्किंग, है ना, कुछ भी है, ठीक है, उनकी वेजेस भी हो सकती हैं, इस तरह की इंफॉर्मेशन हो सकती है, ओके? अब पीपल में इफ़ यू गो टू इट, तो पीपल में हो सकते हैं पीपल वन, कोई भी, है ना, अलग अलग जो उनके उनके आईडीज हो सकते हैं, उनके नेम्स हो सकते हैं, ओके? पीपल वन लाइक दिस, ओके? समझने के लिए वी आर डिस्कसिंग दिस, ओके? पीपल टू. सो द पॉइंट इज कि भाई we are having a tree like structure, okay, branching structure, okay? So when we are going to some center id कोई भी है हमारा, है ना, चलो दमसुदा है जैसे, है ना, तो ये हमारा सेंटर आईडी है, मान लो, ठीक है? सो इफ वी आर गेटिंग, यहाँ पे ऑफिस आ रहे हैं, पीपल आ रहे हैं, उनकी वेजेस भी हैं, ओके, डिफरेंट डिफरेंट, एंड देयर आर अदर आइटम्स आल्सो, किचन आइटम्स आल्सो, ओके? So many things could come, But when we are talking about the people, okay, people 1, people 2, so okay, there is a separate record for them. So like that, okay. So they used to refer this. So this was called a nice kind of a thing. Parent child relationship came into this databases with this thing. Getting it? Same thing that we have in the
Yes, sir.
our डे टू डे लाइफ. ओके, तो ये हमारे पेरेंट हैं. ओके, और ये चाइल्ड है मान लो. ठीक है. So parent child relationship, I mean, we have just taken it from the day-to-day life, and that model came in. So what I'm seeing is, if I now see this thing, कि भाई whatever we are using in our daily life, somehow if that comes into whatever we are using, whatever we are imagining, no, whatever we are using daily, and that system is working smoothly, somehow we are able to take it forward. If that system is coming into the computer system somehow, or maybe some kind of inspiration from that, so that works well. Okay, so parent child relationship, this was going well. Okay, so this also came into the and who brought it? IBM. Okay, in mid 60s. So what happened was this parent child relationship, इसमें एक बड़ी interesting चीज हुई when this thing came. So this was successfully used by NASA. Okay, their model, which is called information management system, this tree like structure, and this was successfully used by NASA to manage drawings for lunar landing. Okay, this was successfully वो किस तरीके से धीरे धीरे आ रही हैं चीजें, है ना, used by ये नासा ने यूज किया था टू मैनेज द ड्राइंग्स. ठीक है, अब तो उनके पास काफी एडवांस सिस्टम है सभी के पास. टू मैनेज द ड्राइंग्स, ड्राइंग्स फॉर लूनर लैंडर. ठीक है, वो मिशन जो भी उनका लूनर लैंडर का था उस समय पे, तो ये ऐसा हुआ था. ओके, सो उसके बाद में ही मिड, सिंस वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट मिड 1960s, तो फिर 1963 के आसपास, आई थिंक इट वाज इन 63. ठीक है, एंड यू कैन चेक दैट आउट. अ मोर फ्लेक्सिबल network model was developed by GE's Charles Beckman. Okay, so अभी तक इसमें क्या देख रहे थे? This was a tree like structure. Okay, parent child relationship was there, but generally each of the child was pointing ahead like one parent kind of a thing. Okay, one to one kind of a mapping was there. But can a child have like two parents? So that kind of relationship was not there in this design. Okay, तो फिर उसमें क्या हुआ? In the same period, more flexible approach came. Approach came, or rather given by developed by, you can say. Okay, GE's मतलब General Electrics. Okay, he was working in General Electrics, I think. Charles Beckman. मतलब it was like धीरे धीरे evolve हो रही थी system. Okay, at that time, because the new thing has come up upon planet Earth. So it was taking its time. Okay, and slowly people were working. Different researchers were working at different areas, and they are coming from the diverse field also. Like Charles Beckman, they used to serve in he served in army also, और उसके बाद वहाँ पे भी उन्हें कोई computer system he observed, और उसके बाद he got some ideas. Okay, there was a varied journey of him, but he was kind of a researcher और engineer type के थे, है ना, अलग से. तो इस तरह से वो जी में काम किया. चार्ल बैकमैन he was the person. ठीक है. उनकी कई सारी टेक्निक्स हैं, टेक्निक्स ऑफ लेयर आर्किटेक्चर. ओके, इज इंक्लूड, आई मीन दे हैव गिवन देयर नेम कॉल्स बैकमैन डायग्राम्स. ओके, डेटा स्ट्रक्चर डायग्राम्स, these are entity and their relationships, I mean based upon that. Okay, you can see that whenever if you are interested. So इसमें what it was coming कि भाई जो भी हमारी पेरेंट चाइल्ड रिलेशनशिप थी, C2. ओके, सो यहाँ पे मान लो if I am having some C3 ऐसे, तो ऐसा भी हुआ है यहाँ पे, ये इन्होंने दिया था इस तरीके से. इन आवर मॉडल इट वाज नॉट लाइक दिस. यहाँ पे पहले सिर्फ सीधा ऐसा था. ओके, one to one kind of a thing. ऊपर से fanning is there and different nodes are there. Okay, parent child relationship में. But here यहाँ पे इन्होंने a child maybe C3 could have like multiple parents. It is coming from C1 also, C2 also. Okay, that kind of a scenario you can apply to any information. Okay, and since the informations were like that, so it's kind of a multiple parents were allowed. But as this database got complicated, as it was, why it was complicated, because as the data grew, okay, so it was really hard to manage all the pointers. Can you understand? We have to maintain these pointers somehow. Okay, भाई अगर ये we have to like अगर इसको हम कहीं रखना चाहते हैं तो फिर कैसे पता लगेगा. Okay, we have to maintain these pointers कि भाई C3 के हमारे दो pointers हैं, C1 से C2 से. So you can like imagine कि this is the very simple diagram. Okay, but if you go to the real-time systems and if you work for any system, okay, so these things could go up or blow up immensely. Okay, फिर कैसे करोगे आप, है ना? So they used to get complicated and it was hard, really hard to manage all these pointers. So at the very start, okay, people were started doing that, but later they came to know, okay, so this is really hard to manage. So then what was happening? Some other persons, okay, so many persons were researching and working on these areas. So इस तरह से चलता रहा. Then the nice thing happened. Okay, so let me just move to another one. Okay, तो यहाँ से start हुआ. Just have a information management system. ठीक है, tree like structure was there. Even before this, flat file model was there, which we have discussed. ठीक है. Then I mean यहाँ पे sequential, there was an approach called sequential search and which used to take time, so they were not that efficient. So faster databases were needed and they were evolving. People were working on that. Okay, so search should take less time and other operations should also take. There were many operations like, okay, we have to create also, we have to read also, we have to update also, sometimes we have to delete also. So you can even think atomically. Okay, so this is parent-child relationship from real life. Okay, it's coming from real life. And then it was okay, but then another person came and he was giving, and this was successfully done by NASA, to manage the lunar drawings of for lunar lander. वहाँ पे use होना शुरू हो गया because they were working in parallel. Okay, they were also evolving, these computer systems were also evolving, and these space missions were also happening. So it was a kind of a collaborative environment over there, and people were very excited about that, and they used to work day and night. Okay, so different researchers were working at different points, and they were coming up with, eventually, not in one day, it has taken many years, but they were working and then they used to come. Okay, some new idea used to come and then they used to implement. Now when these things came, they become huge. Okay, it was really hard to manage these pointers. Then a nice thing happened, and that was the main thing. We are just coming to that. अब वो क्या चीज थी? Okay, there was a person called Ted Cord. Okay, ये देखो, Ted Codd, CODD. Okay. He was the main person. Okay. He was a computer scientist at IBM. IBM में थे. Okay. He gave a better idea to this multiple parent child also, and multiple parents that problem also, which was hard to manage. So he came up with a nice idea, with a very, very better idea. Okay. And he gave the idea of relational database model. Okay. This is very interesting. Gave relational database model. Okay. Relational database model, as you now know also. Okay, those who are working in these fields, they know it. In 1970. Okay. बस यहाँ से एक जर्नी शुरू हुई है, which is like another journey. Okay. So relational database model, are you getting something out of it? क्या हो सकता है वो? Can you give your thoughts? ट्राई करो कुछ, क्या हो सकता है रिलेशनल डेटाबेस? Okay, so इसमें क्या था? There was no pointer to be maintained. Okay, so what he because he gave the data, he organized the data, body of the data into simple tables of related information. For example, we are taking the example of our center, so we have got like different tables of that center itself. Okay, for example, room information. Okay, we are taking, and maybe people's information, who are the main persons at our center, so people, that information table is one. Okay, we have got the wages also. Okay, the wages की information एक अलग से आ रही है. Okay, kitchen groceries. Okay, what are the different items? So इस तरीके से there are a group of related tables, and you do not have to maintain the pointers. वो information you do not have to keep it. Okay. कैसे होगा ये? So this was a kind of a new concept. He was a computer scientist at IBM. He came up with this new idea, and he might be researching, on that previous problem, which was given by the solution that was proposed by Charles Beckman. So उस पे वो काम कर रहे थे, और he gave up this idea, relational database. So when he proposed this idea, so many people liked it also. Okay. So उसमें से I will just brief about what this idea is. There was a person called CJ Date. Okay, he was an author and instructor at IBM, and he was very much convinced that this relational database model was a better model. Okay, so they both came in, like Codd, and this Codd means Ted Codd. Okay, and CJ Date. They both, what they did was they wrote papers. Okay, they lectured at many places. They have some conferences also, and debated. Okay, some at that time they used to debate. Okay, they have organized some कुछ seminars थी, इस तरह की चीजें होती थी वहाँ पे. They used to have debates. Okay, and they used to work like independent consultants, और फिर उसमें वो काम करते थे. Okay, they used to contemplate about the 21st century, कैसे होगा, how will we manage the data, and many things. But they used to propagate this relational database thing. Okay. तो हो क्या रहा था कि since Cod was working in IBM, but IBM had a product called IMS, you know, in the previous slides we have seen that IMS था, ठीक है, तो IBM का ही तो था और Cod भी IBM में ही काम कर रहे थे, and he has proposed this new thing. तो what he has proposed, ये थोड़ी सी this was not going well with that IMS thing, okay, IMS was a product of IBM, वो कर रहे थे उस पे work, and so IBM ने फिर उतना सपोर्ट नहीं किया इसको, relational database को, okay, they didn't support it that well, this database thing, okay, this new paradigm that he was proposing, okay, so usme there was a slow support from their side, okay, and this is in public domain कि भाई ऐसा था क्योंकि there was a IMS था और now he is like proposing new thing and which is going well, and they've given many lectures, many debates, they've participated Cod and Date both, and they were like propagating this idea because this idea was that important and this idea was really efficient, okay. So इसमें किस तरीके का था थोड़ा देख सकते हैं हम. तो एक तो हमारा जैसे मान लो यहाँ पे क्या था हमारा सीरियल नंबर, ओके, सीरियल नंबर था हमारे पास, है ना, जैसे लाइक 1 2, ओके, ये हमारे सेंटर थे, ओके, जो भी हमारा जैसे मान लो C1 है, C2 है, ओके, और ये उनकी लोकेशन थी एक्चुअली, लोकेशन, ओके, ये क्या थी हमारी L1, जैसे हमारी एक दमसुदा की थी और एक दमा पटाना की थी, ओके, तो C1 L1 इस तरह से थी हमारे पास. तो अब एक और उन्होंने प्रपोज किया लोकेशन का टेबल, मतलब किस तरह से हाउ दिस इज डिजाइन वो देखो आप एक बार, है ना. अब सोचो कि ये लोकेशन की टेबल है मेरी, ठीक है, तो इसमें यहाँ पे अगर मैं लेता हूँ ये हमारा LID है, ऐसे सोचो लोकेशन ID, ओके, तो लोकेशन ID में क्या आ रहा है और यहाँ पे है लोकेशन का नेम, ओके, नेम, लोकेशन ID is working like L1 L2, getting it. यहाँ पे जैसे D सुधा है, यहाँ पे दम पठाना है नहीं, D पठाना, let me write the full name. यहाँ पे है पठाना, ठीक है, ये दो लोकेशंस हमारे पास आ गई. इस तरह से और भी लोकेशंस हो सकती हैं, ठीक है. अब एक क्या है हमारे पास, एक और टेबल है, सोचो, मतलब यू कैन हैव n नंबर ऑफ, आई एम जस्ट शोइंग सम ऑफ द कि हाउ दिस वाज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड, यू विल गेट आइडिया ऑफ इट, ओके. सो अब ये यहाँ पे हमारे पास ऐसी आ गई देखो, ठीक है, और यहाँ पे क्या है हमारे पास CID सेंटर ID, ओके. तो लोकेशन में वी शुड लाइक ये यहाँ पे आना चाहिए हमारे पास, थोड़ा सा मैं इरेज करूँगा इसको, दोबारा से लिख दूँगा, यहाँ पे आएगा हमारा, बनाता हूँ मैं दोबारा, ओके ये और जो हस्तिनापुर और लोकेशन 2 हमारी कमासपुर होगी, कमासपुर। ठीक है, अब CID में हमारे पास क्या है, C1 C2। ठीक है, दिस इज अ सिंपल थिंग। सेंटर नेम हम यहाँ पे ले लेते हैं एक नेम। ठीक है, यहाँ पे अब आ जाएगा वो। गेटिंग द फील ऑफ इट, आ रहा है समझ में?
यस सर।
ठीक है, कितना सिंपल है देखो, है ना। पठाना, ये आइडिया था जो उन्होंने प्रपोज किया, धम्मा पठाना। ठीक है, तो हम हमारे पास जो एक ट्री लाइक में मैंने अभी दिखाई थी ये वाली इंफॉर्मेशन। ठीक है, एक ट्री स्ट्रक्चर में सपोज दिस इंफॉर्मेशन वाज देयर। नाउ व्हाट कॉर्ड हैज प्रपोज्ड कि भाई ये इसको हम रिलेशनल उसमें ले सकते हैं। ठीक है, टेबल्स में ही हैज प्रपोज्ड। क्यों? अब इसमें हमें पॉइंटर्स नहीं रखने। क्यों नहीं रखने? बिकॉज यू सी दैट व्हाट इज माय मास्टर टेबल, फर्स्ट टेबल, उसमें सीरियल नंबर 1 एंड 2 है, एंड सेंटर में से C1 लोकेशन L1, C2 लोकेशन L2। ओके, एंड देयर वाज अनदर टेबल which is like location table। ठीक है, इसका मैं थोड़ा सा नाम दे देता हूँ हल्का सा, मास्टर टेबल। ठीक है, दिस इज लोकेशन टेबल, LOCATION, लोकेशन टेबल। ठीक है, सो दीज वर इन द टेबल फॉर्म्स, इस तरह से टेबल। और ये हमारी सेंटर टेबल है ना, टेबल। ओके, so this is the information about our Vipassana centers। okay, so this is how it was broken up। अब इसमें क्या हो रहा था, what is the nice thing in this, कि आपको pointers जो हैं which are like taken as the data of that table। suppose master table में whatever the data is in that record, so it is pointing to some other table। ठीक है, C1, so C1 it will look into the center table। ठीक है, वो कैसे will look, I'm not going into that right now, but the information is there। ठीक है, सो इससे क्या फायदा हो रहा था, एक तो दिस बिकेम एफिशिएंट। क्यों? इसमें देयर वाज नो रेप्लिकेशन काइंड ऑफ थिंग। ठीक है, अभी सपोज द अदर डे देयर आर सम चेंजेस इन द नेम्स ऑफ सम सेंटर। ओके, कुछ चेंज हो रहा है, वैसे तो होते नहीं है जनरली, इफ वी टेक कि भाई कुछ भी उसमें होने वाला है चेंज, मान लो। ओके, सपोज एरिया इज आल्सो देयर, सेंटर है C1 है ना, उसमें एक एरिया का कॉलम और भी है, तो एरिया माइट चेंज। ओके, सो जैसे वो चेंज हो रहा है तो वो इट विल बी एट जस्ट वन सिंगल प्लेस, सो इट विल बी इन माय सेंटर टेबल ओनली। मास्टर टेबल में आई डू नॉट हैव टू चेंज एनीथिंग, बिकॉज मास्टर टेबल में द सेंटर इज रेफरेंसिंग विद C1 की, वो एक की तरह काम कर रहा है। ठीक है, so C1, or I know that C1 is Damsuda, उसमें area is changing। okay, now it is getting expanded, one more plot we have bought। okay, and we are doing farming on that, and we are like having the load, we are doing zero budget farming, and whatever is coming is like getting consumed by my center। okay, so the area is getting changed, so that area will change over here in this table itself। otherwise it might have like suppose I'm using that area at different places, so all the places I have to update it। so now the data is also very safe and it is at one place only। okay, for example the name, suppose Hastinapur, so many a times the government also changes the name। okay, if the name is getting changed, so I will have to just update in this middle table। now how I will search, so there is a nice thing to it for searching also, but what he has proposed is कि भाई you can keep the data in this fashion। So when he was lecturing, when he was doing debates or etc. with that person, along with that person, Mr. Date. Okay, so many people used to see, "Bhai, this is a really a nice concept." Okay, so the pointers thing was like now it is in the form of these keys L1, L2, C1, C2 like this. Okay, so you can have. So I've shown this example of 3 tables, but you can have n number of tables. Okay, so you can easily break that. So there were certain rules for it, but this was like since it was coming as a paper, so this was a concept at that time. Okay, so it was not very well implemented, but he proposed it at that time. Okay, तो ये हुआ उस समय है. Their product was IMS was also there. ठीक है, so they slowed down the support for this new idea. So in 1973, okay, when it was proposed, when it was proposed, it was proposed in 1970. Okay, so now something happened in 1973. Is it okay if we continue this in the next lecture?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that will be kind of a second part to it. Okay, and then we will finish it. So इसमें बस there is a little precursor के in 1973 there was a person called Michael Stone Breakers. Okay, he has got a team. He was, I think they were researching in University of California, Berkeley. Okay, and they used Cord's idea to create the relational database, and they used to call that Ingress. Okay, क्या नाम दिया उसको? Ingress, INGRES, ऐसे. Okay, what does it stand for? Interactive Graphics Retrieval System. So IN, graphics में GR, G, and retrieval में RE, and S for systems, Ingress. Okay, Interactive Graphics Retrieval System. So they, as a research project, okay, they took this idea to the implementation. Okay, and they created this relational database called Ingress, which we'll talk about in the next lecture. Okay, so we'll finish this tomorrow at the same time.
ओके सर। और सर हमारी नॉर्मल क्लास अब होगी
हाँ, अभी उससे थोड़ा सा मुझे गैप दे दो, है ना, and then we'll
4:30 को करते हैं
4:30 कर लो फिर, है ना. Okay, are you okay both?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, I'll take a break
Yes.
and we'll continue on this and then we'll finish on this. Okay, ठीक है सर. Bye, take care.
ओके सर थैंक यू सर
Thank you.
Yeah, bye. Bye. Thank you both of you.